So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is doing something pretty different compared to previous Call of Duty titles when it comes to the upcoming open beta period. It seems like Call of Duty this time is really trying to get back as many players as they can. I mean, we've seen multiple things that they've done this year to get people to basically come back to Call of Duty. Not only did they release the ports recently for the older Black Ops titles, which were the highest selling games on PlayStation for a while, and I'm pretty sure they're still doing really well in terms of player charts, despite kind of some problems going on with cheaters and hackers boosting and resetting people's accounts. But also because we know that earlier this year they did release Modern Warfare 2019, or not release it, but they gave it like a huge discount over on Steam, which it became like $5 or something crazy like that. And obviously that got a lot of people playing Modern Warfare 2019 again, and it seems like Modern Warfare 4 is trying to recreate the Modern Warfare 2019 experience in terms of the look, the gameplay, the campaign, stuff like that. Now it looks like this open beta that's coming up is going to include a ton. I don't think I've ever seen this amount of content from a beta in Call of Duty. I don't know if any of the previous betas ever really included this much stuff. It does seem like they're either super confident with the product or they really just want people to pre-order with the amount of content that's in here. But anyways, I'm going to be breaking down pretty much everything that they announced today, what's going to be in the beta, what you can expect to see, those sorts of things. But before we do that, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you can stay up to date with all of the content here on the channel, and let's just dive right on into it. So to start, basically the Call of Duty Next event is going to be on August 21st, and in this we're going to get a closer look at what we can expect to see in Modern Warfare 4. Right after Call of Duty Next is going to be the Early Access Beta. So the Early Access Beta is for people who are on Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5, Xbox on PC, Steam, and Battle.net. So to note, Nintendo Switch 2 is not included in the Early Access Beta. The Nintendo Switch 2 is going to actually start in the open beta. So at Call of Duty Next, they're going to be showcasing core 6v6 gameplay. They're also going to show us the gameplay for Kill Block, which is that new mode/map where it basically reconfigures between matches. It's supposed to be just more of a different kind of unique take. I think it's like 3 sections and it swaps out every time to create a new combination. We did get to see a little bit of that kind of gameplay from a previous Call of Duty event. We're also getting Warzone intel, a first look at the new Warzone map, which is called Zodiac. And then there's also going to be talk about the launch maps and modes, the reward drops, mobility course competition, and beta code giveaways. Right afterwards, the open beta, or the early access beta I should say, is going to start, and this is going to be weekend 1 of the beta, and it's going to last until August 25th. So in it we're going to get to see 5 new 6v6 maps, Kill Block, and a campaign mission. So this is a first. We're actually going to be getting early access to the campaign, just one mission, which is Entrenched. It's got trench warfare, those sorts of things. Very interesting looking mission. It does look very on par with what you'd expect from Call of Duty by now. You know, this year the campaign is going to be linear, none of that open world stuff, and certainly nothing like what we saw with Black Ops 7. No, not at all. This one is going to be offline. You don't have to be online for some reason to join a match to play the campaign. That was a wild one. I'm very glad I didn't play the Black Ops 7 campaign. I saw gameplay of it and, you know, not Call of Duty at all. But so far, Modern Warfare 4 does look like it's pretty on par with the Modern Warfare games at the very least. The multiplayer maps that we're going to be seeing are Rooftops, Silkworm, Transit 213, Cachette, Lotus, and of course Kill Block. Then the multiplayer modes that we're going to be able to try are Team Deathmatch, Domination, Hardpoint, Kill Confirmed, Inflation, Search and Destroy, and then Kill Block is going to have 10v10 and 3v3 gunfight, and then Mobility Course. So again, these are basically all the things that we're going to be seeing in the early access beta. For the open beta, this is going to start on August 28th and it's going to end September 1st. It's going to be introducing the Warzone beta for the new map, which is called Zodiac, and this is a new resurgence map for Warzone. So again, the campaign mission is also going to be available in the open beta. The same multiplayer maps are going to be available. On top of all of this, and on top of the Warzone Resurgence Zodiac mode, we're also going to be getting access to Ground War, which is combat outpost in Imjin Farmland and Wolves Stadium. So these are pretty much all of the big things that we're going to be seeing in the open beta as well, just on top of what I mentioned mentioned in the early access beta. And like I said earlier, for the open beta, if you're on Nintendo Switch 2, that's when you can try it out, not during the early access. And then if you pre-order Modern Warfare 4, you can play the beta immediately after COD Next. So obviously the early access beta. I believe the Nintendo Switch thing is just because pre-orders for it are going to begin on August 26th. I'm not sure why they didn't do it with the other platforms. It might be something about the way they have to develop for Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not sure. I'm also not even sure how these games would run on the Nintendo Switch 2, unless the Switch 2 is actually that just more powerful than the Switch 1. But anyways, if you're on Switch 2, you don't need to pre-order to participate in the open beta. Pre-ordering isn't going to give you access to the early access beta either. If you do pre-order the Vault Edition of MW4, then you will get to try the exclusive operators, including Price, Valeria, Ghost, and Blix during the open beta or the early access beta as well. And then you'll also be able to access the Special Forces operator pack in the beta, which includes the France, Germany, South Korea, and UK Special Forces looks. They do look pretty cool. These are definitely very grounded operators. So far, it does seem like they are sticking to a theme. They have promised that there's not going to be like any goofy skins in MW4. Everybody is kind of doubting. You know, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're being serious about it this time, but what do they consider goofy? What do we consider goofy? I don't know what they consider as goofy skins, but so far, and there were some leaked, I think, images of some of the operators as well from the MW4 multiplayer stuff, and they do look pretty much what you'd think from a Modern Warfare game, a very grounded look. You know, some people are saying that it's going to be after Season 1 that they're going to change everything and they're going to start introducing, you know, like the anime skins and the cartoon skins and the pink skins and all this kind of stuff that looks very goofy. I know in Modern Warfare 2019, they didn't go too crazy. I think like the wildest stuff I remember seeing from that game were the Halloween looking ones, but even so, they still didn't look too different compared to the rest of the game. Like, they didn't make them wildly outlandish compared to the base operators in that game. But I'm personally really hoping that they actually stick to this visual style and look in Modern Warfare 4, because it definitely does impact the experience of actually playing a Call of Duty game. Personally, I felt like that spark was missing with Black Ops 6 when they started just diverting completely. If you guys remember with Black Ops 6, I covered it on the channel a lot. They had Squid Game, and then they had American Dad, and then I don't even know whatever else was going on in that game. It was just a wild situation. It just looked like Fortnite, and obviously that's not what Call of Duty is. So hopefully they've learned that people really don't want that. And with Modern Warfare 4, I think if they do stick a good visual look, great gameplay, the maps are good, it overall feels like Modern Warfare 2019 at the very least. It plays maybe a bit smoother. I think that it can definitely do a good job this year, and I think it might surprise people, but of course they actually have to stick to these things. They can't just backtrack after Season 1 and say, well, we're gonna add random goofy collab number 125, you know, bait and switch type stuff. Hopefully they don't do that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, how you feel about the amount of stuff that's going to be available in the beta. Let me know if you guys are actually going to play it as well. Be sure to leave a like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you can stay up to date with all of the content here on the channel. And that's all for today, folks.